Gary, what's that bounce back win done for you last week, if you like?
Well, hopefully it does a lot for you, because after you've had a couple of defeats, you don't want that to turn into as long a run as our run of wins previously. And against Lincoln, it was a good one to win, because they were going well. You knew it was going to be a battle. Tactically, we had to make sure that we won the tactical battle on and off the field if we could, and obviously you end up winning the game. I thought every one of our players put in a fantastic stint and a great effort, and that's what we have to do if you're going to get anywhere near the playoffs. And I was really pleased with the performance of the lads, but mainly the mentality of the lads, that they looked like they wanted to win that game.
And how difficult does that make selection this week? Because you've got people like Will Boyle, who came back in after a while out. Yeah. You've got two centre forwards who have proved actually they can play together.
Yeah. Well, we knew we never thought that they couldn't play together. We just didn't have the opportunity. And it's good to know that we got options of playing two big strikers if we need to. And we want to create competition in the squad, because Boyley was out for a few weeks. I'm sure he wasn't too happy about that, but he kept his head up and had to give him a couple of reminders. And he came in and realised that manager's giving him another go, because he was unlucky when he got left out. I think it was, I can't remember what it was now, but I know there was a reason. Yeah, he broke his nose. That's a good enough reason, isn't it? Especially when you've got a big nose like that, it hurts. No, he's, you like to say that now, banter. But he came in, and this is my recovery with Boyley. He came in and did a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job. And him and Grimesy, were very strong against the strong Wycombe strike force.
And I suppose the reason he hadn't been able to get back in wasn't because of anything he'd done wrong. It was because other people had stepped up to the mark and raised the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was unlucky to be left out, and the lads ended up, putting a good run of wins together. And anyway, he came back in, and the rest is history. But we got to create that competition. We have, and if we've got that, and the lads can handle it, because some players can't always handle being left out of the team, and especially if you've won and they get left out for somebody to come back in. But as a manager, you have to manage it and try and make them all feel important, so that when they do come back in, they know that you still respect them as part of your squad.
And how much better have they got to be this week at Wycombe? How much more have they got to raise the game again?
Well, they're going well, Wycombe, very well, and they're always sort of there or thereabouts. I know my old mate Akin Fenway, he's a lovely fella, and but he is the beast, as he calls himself. So, he was great to work with, fantastic to work with at Northampton, and a great personality. And he's a good player. He looks, heavy, but he's actually unbelievably strong. And obviously he's very, very good in the air. So a lot of stuff goes through him. We know Brownie kicks it a mile. So, there's going to be a lot of challenges about. And we're going to have to be up for it. It will be a good scalp if we can get a result.
And defending against Adebayo Akinfenwa, is the second ball almost as important as the first ball?
Yeah, it is. Without going into all the tactics that we, of course you've got to work on things like that. But with Bayo, when the ball, he's very good at it. He's not the tallest of people, but you can't get into his zone, and you have to make sure that you're competing without fouling, and hope that it's him. He's the one that's knocking you about, and the referee sees the fouls. He'll have the raging on with me saying that, but yeah, as I say, I look forward to seeing him on Saturday.
And you mentioned Scott Brown there. Obviously, came and did a fantastic job the second half of last season, but kind of always had that carrot of the number one shirt there this season. So, how difficult is he going to be to beat? Because we saw the form he was in last season. It was fantastic for Cheltenham.
Good form. We've got a goalkeeper now in form as well, so we're very pleased with the situation in the end. To be fair to Wycombe, it was looking like we were going to take him, and then they decided that they were going to keep him because there was every likelihood of him playing first team football there again, because obviously the Chelsea loanee had gone back. Blackman, was it? Is that his name? And he's he's kept his place, so good luck to him. And but Wycombe sort of kept their word with him and have kept him in the team, which they said they would if they called him back from here.
Did you almost do too well here last season?
Yeah, maybe that's sometimes a situation. With all loans, you put somebody back in the shop window. When it's somebody who's a little bit older, and sometimes you put a young lad in the shop window, and of course other teams are out there like vultures, just waiting to snap somebody up. You take the risk, but sometimes somebody else snaps them up. But that's football, I'm afraid, and what you got to deal with is here and now, and just make sure that you do all you can to get, which we're going to try and get into that one of those playoff spots.
Injuries. You were without a host of midfielders last week. Are they on their way back? Are they available?
Yeah, I think that yes, they are all available. Obviously, Pelly's over his concussion, probably knocked some sense into him. Stoz is back training, and yeah, they're both available for selection.